Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Predictions Show. We did hit the target yesterday for 500 likes, so here we are once more with more Premier League action. Same applies for this video as well, by the way. If you want one tomorrow, you know what to do. And before we get into this one, well done to this user. You have won a month of OddAlerts Pro for commenting on the last video. Same applies for this one. If you want to get involved, just head to the comments and I'll make it easy for you because I've got a question. What is the score going to be between Newcastle and Liverpool and Arsenal, Manchester United? Two very tricky games to call. There was quite a few of you with the correct suggestions in the comments yesterday, so well done to you. Right, let's get into the games. So we've got 6 games from the Premier League tonight, and of course the highlights, as I've just mentioned, Newcastle, Liverpool. Liverpool actually have won the last 6 meetings between these two teams. City, Forest, City looking for the first win in what would be 7 games. And then Arsenal, Manchester United, first really big game for Amorim away at the Emirates. Such a difficult place to go this season. There's also games from the EFL, League One and League Two. And speaking of the EFL, well done if you were on this from last night. The man versus machine. The man won his treble, but so did the machine. 2 winning slips from yesterday's video. I think we were a shot on target away. Buonanotte played the majority of the game. Good win for Van Nistelrooy, wasn't it? But yeah, no shot on target for him and no foul for Davies in the Ipswich game as well. This is the thing when you go with player prop markets. It's very reliant on an individual, whereas if you're just sticking to the main markets, it's a team game, isn't it? Anybody can score that goal that you need for over 2.5 goals. But Buonanotte, if he doesn't show up, doesn't have a shot on target, there's not much you can do, even if all of the other selections land. We had Wrexham again. They are a favourite on this channel at the moment, and well done if you were brave enough to go for the victory outright. I think the odds even increased after the video yesterday, 2.4 some people got them at. Wickham, we went with the double chance as well. No shame in going with double chance, by the way, reduced to risk. 2.27 was the odds for our treble, and the machine had a winner at 2.31, so well done if you got on both of those. We will do man versus machine again in this episode. So for this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. It's called bullet stats, because there are quite a few games. I'm going to go through in a quick sort of montage and give you the key stats as I go through and research from these games. Are you ready? Let's go. Bottom of the league, Southampton hosting Chelsea. Real momentum for Chelsea. They have scored 2.33 goals per game, but always be careful with the averages, of course. They hit 6 away at Wolves. In terms of scoring more than once, it's happened in less than 50% of games, so always check the occurrences when you see high averages. Southampton have scored in their last 4 home games, including 2 against Liverpool. There has not been a 0-0 this season between Chelsea and Southampton. Will there be goals in this one? Can Southampton score against a Chelsea defence that hasn't been fantastic this season? And if it is BTTS that you are looking at, then 69% is the number. Just under 70% of games for Chelsea this season have seen BTTS landing. We've had a lot of joy with second half goals recently on this channel, and look at that for Chelsea. They've scored 5 first half goals on the road this season compared to 9 in the second half, and they have actually scored a second half goal in every single game this season away from home. Now on to Newcastle against Liverpool. Should have done Scouse as I did the Newcastle bit. Anyway, these two teams have the best defensive record across the last 10 games. They have both conceded 8 in the last 10, so 0.8 per game. Newcastle, the form is nowhere near Liverpool's, but they are keeping things quite tight. If they lose, it's by 1 goal or so. And for Liverpool, their form is absolutely exceptional. Just 1 defeat all season, and it came at home to Nottingham Forest, who we will take a look at in a moment. Away from home, unbeaten and scoring in every game, scoring 2 or more in all but 1 game. As I mentioned at the top of the video, the head-to-head looks like this: 4-2, 2-1, 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, 3-1, and then a draw, taking us back to 2021. That is 6 meetings in a row that Liverpool have won against Newcastle. Will they buck the trend, Newcastle, tonight? When looking at home and away form, both Liverpool and Newcastle have been booked at least once in every single game this season. Liverpool are scoring for fun in the last 10 games. They've scored 2 or more in 9 of the last 10 games. Jumping to corners now, and only Tottenham and Manchester City have seen more corners in the last 10 games across all competitions. 65 in the last 10 for Newcastle, 66 for Spurs, so they are pretty close. And then 89 for Manchester City. But what is interesting also for Newcastle is the amount that they are conceding, especially compared to the team they are facing tonight. Just look at this. At home, 43 corners in their home games, 7.17 average per game, compared to Liverpool, who have conceded just 16 corners on the road this season. That is pretty impressive. On to Manchester City against Forest, and of course, Forest looking to inflict more damage onto Pep Guardiola's forehead. When we look at goals conceded, only Liverpool have conceded fewer goals than Forest this season. They are having a superb time under Nuno. As everybody knows, Manchester City winless in 7 games, but I think more importantly, more alarmingly, they have conceded 2 or more in every single one of those games. Just 1 defeat away from home for Nottingham Forest, and that did come in the previous game at the Emirates. Can they improve on that performance against another heavy hitter in the Premier League? This was also the only away game that they failed to score in this season. Cards could be an interesting play here. Out of the last 10 games, 9 have seen 5 or more cards for Nottingham Forest. Not cards received, but total cards. No team has a higher value than that in the Premier League across the last 10 games. Nottingham Forest have been drawing in 62% of games by half-time this season. They are scoring much more in the second half, and the half with most goals has landed in 69% of all their games. And if we toggle to the away form, it drops ever so slightly, just to 67%. Everton versus Wolves, 2 teams in very different positions. I know it's 17th against 18th, but very different positions in terms of goal scoring. As far as total goals are concerned, no team in the Premier League has seen more across the last 10 games. 44 goals in their last 10 games. And for this same metric, Everton rank 19th with just 19 goals in their last 10 games. No team has scored fewer than Everton in the last 10 games. They've scored just 8 goals. And if we jump to the last 5, we can see something very interesting. Wolves have scored more goals than Everton have scored all season in the last 5 games. 12 goals in their last 5 games compared to 1 for Everton in the last 5. They're actually 4 games now without a goal, Everton, and they've conceded 6 during that time. They can defend, that's for sure, but Wolves scoring for fun at the moment, and Cunha is playing out of his skin. On to Aston Villa versus Brentford, and we can see that it is not great for Unai Emery at the moment. 2 or more goals conceded in the last 4 games, and they are 8 without a win. They rank 17th for points collected across the last 10 games, with just 9 points collected in their last 10. We mentioned Wolves being top of the pile for total goals. Second in that list with 41 in the last 10 is Brentford. But away from home, they have scored just 4 goals at Brentford compared to 22 at home. So they are very, very different at home and away. Brentford have been a firm favourite for BTTS this season, and 9 of the last 10 games across all competitions have ended with BTTS landing. Will this one go the same way? Big game for Unai Emery at Villa Park tonight. And this is the difference in the home form and away form for Brentford. Winless away from home and conceding 2 or more in all but 1 game. And at home, scoring for fun and unbeaten. What a contrast. And away from home, Brentford is conceding 8.83 shots on target per game. 8.83. They are one of the highest in the Premier League in terms of shots faced, certainly away from home. Crazy how different their form is on the road. So that was the bullet stats section. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can take some of that and put it in your selections for this evening. I'm going to show you the probability model now for the Premier League, just so we can see the top games. You can see that Man City are still very, very much favoured with the model 1.37 implied odds. In terms of BTTS, the highest game is actually Southampton-Chelsea. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments. And let's scroll through to see over 2.5 goals. The highest rated game again is Southampton against Chelsea. Let's jump now to Bet365 and put together some selections. So I'm going to go with a few options on this one. I was going to put them all into one big one and then just remove some stuff, but I'm actually quite confident in a lot of these selections here. So I'm going to go with a couple of doubles and then this single. So this is a single for the Man City game, and we're going to go with over 1 goal in the second half. I was going to go with Forest to score in the second half on the break. I think they'll try and just really play with a low block and frustrate City, and then break on them through the middle as teams have been doing. I think they can have a lot of joy if, I don't know if Gibbs White's fit, how fit he is, but if he's fit and Hudson-Odoi and Alanga are at their best, I think they can have a lot of joy in this game, actually, Forest. And both teams to receive a card. The data is good for that one. 2.22. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Over 1 goal in the second half. We saw the second half data for Forest and, of course, Man City. If this one is tight, as it was in the Liverpool game, they'll try and, push on Doku and whatever to try and get a goal. Kevin De Bruyne coming on, as he has been. Maybe he'll get a start today, who knows. So that is the first single. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now for the double, what we're going to do is BTTS for Southampton-Chelsea. We're going to go with the probability model, but also Southampton improving at home. In terms of goal scoring, they need a big result, I feel. I'm not saying they'll get it today, but they could put in a performance and cause Chelsea some issues, as teams have at the back. Fofana is now out. Reece James is still out. Gutso, I'm not sure if he's back fit. So there is going to be some issues in defence for Chelsea, on top of the shakiness that they've shown all season, to be honest. So Liverpool to get the most corners, as we saw with the data there. Newcastle conceding an awful lot of corners, especially at home. Liverpool hardly conceding any. And don't get me wrong, this is a very, very tough game for Liverpool. This will show where they are at, because yes, they beat Man City, but Man City clearly not the team that they once were, or certainly not at the moment. Whereas Newcastle away is always a tough game. You always have to perform if you want to get something from it. And if they can come away from this game comfortable, clean sheet, then they are very, very much favourites for the title. And by the way, feel free to swap any of these around, or change the order of the doubles or whatever, and let me know what you're on tonight in the comments as well. So for the Everton-Wolves game, I was going to go Wolves goal in the second half, as we've had a lot of joy with in recent weeks, but I'm just going to go with Everton to concede a goal, 1.4. And we are going to mix this, we're going to combine this with the Aston Villa game. And I mentioned the shots faced for Brentford away from home. And I'm going to go with total shots on target for Aston Villa over 4.5. This gets us to 2.14. So over evens, both of those doubles. Let me know what you think about that. Wolves to score a goal, Aston Villa over 4.5 shots on target. And you're probably thinking, where's the Arsenal-Man United game? Let's jump back to the front page. So Arsenal versus Manchester United, obviously a heated rivalry, this one. If you want to see my thoughts, my analysis, my data, my predictions, my whatever, head to X. I will be doing a mega thread on this game, and I will also be putting some thoughts in the Discord for this one. Massive, massive game. Huge moment for Amorim so early in his Manchester United career. Let's see what he can do. Arsenal, let's just take a quick look at their home form. Now that they've got Odegaard back, I think they're going to go on a run, to be honest. Unbeaten at home so far, scored 2 or more in all but 1 game. And they come into this having scored 8 goals in the previous 2 fixtures. Let me know what you think about this video. If you get the chance to hit like, do it, subscribe. And if there is 500 likes, again, I'll be here tomorrow with a quick filter video. We'll do some quick filters and look at some markets from a few more obscure leagues around the world. And I've just remembered, we've not done man versus machine, so forgive me. Let's have a look at that right now. Bet slip generator. Let's see what the machine can do. And we're going to go for a double here because our selections are double. So we're going to go for a double, and we're going to allow the machine to have value bets only. And we hit get, And we have an over 1.5 goals double here. So 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. from Italy and from Ukraine. Let me just save this. And we will track that. As I say, yesterday's man versus machine. Man won and machine won. My odds were just a little bit better, so I say I'm the winner for that day. If you've got any feedback, thoughts, or suggestions for the video on the channel, let me know in the comments. Hopefully we can hit 20k by Christmas. Thank you. See you in the next one.